Good evening from Iraq, everyone. I'm Abdullah Munjid, and today I will discuss the case. Good evening, everyone. I'm Abdullah Munjid, a team member from Nahran University of the Nahran University team of the vismoot. Today, I have a session to discuss and to answer around 69 questions related to the case at hand, which is the case number 0076-2022 from the PCA. Regarding the session of today, there are 69 questions which they are here. They came to us from our followers and the audience, and they wanted from us and from me specifically to answer them. Those represented my college and represented my team, which is an vismoot team. I will answer these 69 questions. At first, these 69 questions were determined or were qualified as to the subject of it. We have, for example, question for registration, 5 questions for registration, 10 questions for arbitration clause, and whatever. Those, in order to make it a bit harder to me, I will do that. I will make them mess in order to no question will be related to the question which is after it. That's in order to make the challenge a bit hard and in order to check the ability to answer a question which is not related to the question which is before it or the question next to it. Thus, I do it. Now I will put it here and I will choose one from them and I will answer the question. Those, are you ready? I'm ready too. Let's start with the question number 1. I'll choose the first page. Stated that the question stated that briefly clarify the 4 issues raised in this arbitration proceedings phase. This is a very good question to start with today's sessions. Okay, briefly I'll discuss the 4 issues here. Regarding in this issue or in this dispute, we have 4 issues. We should answer it and should discuss it in arbitration proceedings. At first, let me guide you and reference you to record 42 from the case, which is procedural order number 1, and if you see I3, there is A, B, C, D. This is the issues here. In this arbitration, I will start with the first issue, that if the tribunal has jurisdiction to hear this dispute or not. At first, let me clarify what is the dispute here. The dispute here turns around if the arbitration process, if the arbitral tribunal has jurisdiction or not. Why the respondent stated or alleged that the arbitration agreement does not have jurisdiction. The reason of these allegations is that the arbitration agreements in current case and the parties agreement does not have a sufficient permanent signature or consent, like what the constitutional law of Equatorial provided or needed to consider there is about the arbitration agreement. Those in case when the parliament consent is not provided, then the respondent alleged that the arbitration agreement is not valid. This is regarding the first issue. The first issue of the CISG, if the tribunal have jurisdiction or not. Moving to the second issue regarding if the arbitration proceedings should be bifurcated or postponing or not. What the dispute here is that the respondent alleged or claimed that the current contract is occurred by corruption and by bribery from Mr. Fayed and the claimant itself. Those the respondent alleged that we should not go on with the arbitration proceedings until the investigation result regarding this corruption be ruled, which will be ruled in the last month or in the end of 2023. This is the respondent's order that the arbitration proceeding should be postponing, but the claimant clearly clarified that the arbitration proceeding should not be postponing, since from the claimants stated that the corruption is not related to the arbitration agreements and is not related to the contract itself. This is issue 2. Moving to issue 3, my lovely audience. Issue 3 stated regarding if the CISG apply or not. Why the CISG? Why the application of the CISG is disputed here? Because the goods in the contract is regarding the drones. The goods is drones, and there is a bit shock here between the two parties whether the drone is considered as a type of aircraft or whether it is only a drones are not excluded from the scope of application under Article 2 of the CISG. This is issue 3. Moving to the last issue, which is issue 4 or issue D, that in case the CISG applies, the respondent have the right to rely on its domestic law to avoid the contract or not. The dispute here simply is that the respondent alleged that there is a misrepresentation in current case and stated that since the CISG does not have any matters or any provision regarding to misrepresentation, those the respondent have the right to rely on its domestic law to settle this dispute, while the claimant stated not. The CISG have a provision regarding the misrepresentation. This is briefly the 4 issue in the current case. Okay, moving to the second question, which is question number 2. Let's choose one. Okay, let's read. If a reasonable person will found that give a price for 6 drones lower than the past price is assigned for potential corruption. Okay, the idea of this question is a bit joke. In current case, at first, the claimant provided a price to the 4 drones, or to the 4 drones which the claimants want to sell to the respondent. Then, at the last day of negotiation, the claimant gave 6 drones with lower price than the price of 4 drones. Is this have a potential of corruption or not? To be clear, this is very tricky question because we does not have any fact regarding if there is a corruption or not, or if the parties or contract is made with corruption or not. But like a reasonable person, what's the benefit if a company lower the price of the goods? There is a benefit from that. There is no potential for corruption here. The corruption, the real corruption, which is having something with made some money. Give some money and have something. Here there is no benefits. The corruption, there is a potential of corruption in case that I sold 6 drones and higher the price. The claimants here lowers the price, not higher the price. What's the benefit? Where's the corruption here? Thus, as a reasonable person, like if I am a reasonable person, I will state that there is no potential of corruption here. That's it. Moving to the second, to the third question, which is question number 3. Let's read. On what date the result of investigation should be raised? Okay, this is an easy question, and I would like to guide you to record, I believe, 32 from the case. I believe 32, yes, okay, sorry, 33, which is responded exhibit R5. There is a journal, and if you see the last paragraph regarding the middle, stated that, and it's clearly notable that she promised to have the investigation finalized by the end of 2023 at the latest. Thus, the investigation result will be raised on 2023, on the end of 2023 to be exactly. Moving to the fourth question, which is stated that it is the Kestrel I 2010 was the newest model on the time of signing the contract or not. Okay, here this question have two sides. From the claimant side, that it was the newest model, since the Kestrel I, the Hawkeye 2020 was still not in the market, still in the last phase of testing. It was from claimant side, it was, yes, the Kestrel I was the newest model and the state of the art, while from the respondent side, it's not. From the respondent side, that stating that the contract is concluded on December 2020, sorry. And how I go and enter in the market on February 2021. There is only 2 months or 3 months, and because the Hawkeye is still at the last phase testing, those it should be considered like it is in the market. It is the newest model here, since it's a production and anything. Thus, this is the two sides from claimants and respondent. I move now to the next question, and let's read the stated that what is the main purpose of respondent to sign the contract. Okay, the respondent signed the contract here since Equatoriana, the country of respondent, intended to prove and improvement the north part of Equatoriana. And since from that, Equatoriana government until responding to enter into any contract which is needed in order to improve the north part of Equatoriana. Because the main purpose is only for improve the north part of Equatoriana by what? By taking the information and the resources of the north part by exploration and explore the information here, there. Okay? Okay. Moving to the next question. Stated that, from your opinion, I love my opinion to be honest, could we state that according to World Faith Doctrine, the claimant had not constituted a misrepresentation? To be honest, like I am not to be on both sides, I will be only my opinion. There is no any good faith made by the claimant. The claimant know that the Kestrel I was not the newest model. There is a newest model here, which is the Hawkeye 2020, but the claimants not disclosure that to the respondent. But in the same time, there is a discussion regarding this misrepresentation in the May 2021 in the respondent company, and this discussion were settled and the dispute were settled. Those there is a good faith, maybe there is a good faith here from the claimants that since the issue is settled by the respondent, there is no issue here. It's settled. Whatever those, this could be like this and like this. I will not answer this question specifically because it may make me terrible and whatever. Moving to the next question, please, which is under the Equatoriana Aviation Safety Act, does the aircraft should be registered or not? Okay, to answer this question is simple. I will guide you to record 36 from the case, which is responded exhibit R5, and if you see Article 10, registration stated that any aircraft owned or operated by a private entity in the territory of Equatoriana shall be registered at the aircraft registry. It's clear that any aircraft should be registered, but what we should notice here, it is stated that which owned or operated by a private company. If the respondent in our case is a private company or not. This is the question raised here. This question have two answers. Regarding from the claimant side, yes, it's not a private company, and then the aircraft should not be registered, and the CIS could apply. But from the respondent side, it is still a private. It's still a government company, and this is the choke here regarding the registration. Both sides admitted and agreeing that the respondent is a government company, and then the aircraft should be registered maybe, but not under Article 10 from the Aviation Safety Act, to be honest. Moving to the next question, which is, what is the definition of aircraft under Equatoriana Aviation Safety Act? This is a very good question, and you can see it as well in Record 36. Article 1 stated that, let me read, aircraft, any vehicles with or without an engine, heavier or lighter than air, that is used or intended to be used of moving persons or subjects in the air, without any mechanical connection to the ground. Focus here, stated that unmanned aerial vehicles are treated accordingly as aircraft if their overall length exceeded 20 centimeter, 90 centimeter, or if their payload is higher than 15 kilogram. This is the definition of aircraft. Moving to the second question. Stated that, does the Kestrel I 2010 consider aircraft under Equatorial Aviation Safety Act or not? Does the Kestrel I? Yes. This question is related to the definition of aircraft, aviation safety and aircraft. It stated that, when I say focus, it stated that unmanned aerial vehicles are treated accordingly as aircraft if their overall length exceeded 90 centimeter, or if their payload is higher than 50 kilogram. And if we go like 90 centimeter and the payload is 15 kilogram. If we go to the characteristic of Kestrel I 2010, record 15 from the case, regarding the overall length, it is 6 meter and 30 centimeter. And regarding the capacity or the payload, it is 245. Those under the Equatorial Aviation Safety Act, the Kestrel I should be considered as aircraft. Moving to the next issue or the next question states that, what is the law governing the capacity? Regarding the law governing the capacity, it is not disputed between the parties that the law governing the capacity here is the law of Equatorial. Since the capacity is a matter of domestic law, like we could discuss or state, it's related to domestic law. Those the Equatorial law should be applied on the capacity, since the contract is governed by the law of Equatorial. Okay. Next question. What is stable doctrine Okay, estoppel doctrine simply means that if I am a company and do something in some date, I could not do something in conjunction with that, with the last doing, and they stated that this is true. Like what the claimant stated in current case, that the respondent stated that the arbitration agreement is not valid, but the respondent itself amended the arbitration agreement. That's why the respondent amended the arbitration agreement while the arbitration agreement is not valid. This is the estoppel simply. The respondent could not, from the claimant's side, to be honest, the respondent could not state that the arbitration agreement is not valid since the respondent itself amended the arbitration agreement. This is estoppel. Next question. What do you believe is the respondent private company or government company? This is a good question. At first, a private company, it's a company which is the management of it is not related to company, to country or government, while the government company, like its name, is the company which the management of it related to the government and have a public work or whatever. Regarding the case at hand, if the respondent is commercial or government, this question as well as job. The respondent is owned by the Minister of Natural Resources, but at the same time, the respondent acts as a commercial company in this contract. Does whatever. From the claimant side, it's a commercial company, while from the respondent side, it is a government company. That's it. Moving to the next question. What is the meaning of misrepresentation? And what is the type of it? Okay, misrepresentation means a false statement or a false information or fact given from one party to another party. This is misrepresentation, simply a false fact given from party to another party. The misrepresentation have three types, which is innocent, negligent, and fraudulent. Regarding the innocent, which is the misrepresentation which occurred by a good faith, which is a mistake. Maybe in good faith, I know I does not have the intention to deceive the other party. I am as well go into the mistake as well. This innocent, while the fraudulent, which is the misrepresentation occurred by a bad faith. I have the intention to deceive the other party, thus I give it a false statement or false facts to give him or to give him a reason to conclude the contract with me, but the statement which given is false. This is the fraudulent. Regarding the last type, which is negligent, which is occurred from when the party, like we discuss it, like he does not care, like what the reasonable person should care to information to make the information clear to the another party. That's it. Moving to the next question. The question is very, very clever question, and it is very, yes. What is the purpose from establish the CISG? Okay. In 1918, the CISG is established. What is the purpose of establishing the CISG? It is to provide a uniform law for international trade in the world. The countries see that it is very hard when, like for example, Iraq contracting entered into a contract with USA. Sorry, what's the law should apply? Is the Iraqi civil law or the USA civil law? This is the difficulties here. Those the countries stated that why not? Let's establish a uniform law, which is the CISG, and this law or convention will govern the international trade or the international contracts, and that's what happened in 1918. which is now the CISG is the most famous convention regarding the international trade or international sale of goods. Moving to the next question, which is, wow, this question is important, really, specifically for the oral hearings. Let's state that is the parties country are contracting state to CISG, New York Convention, model law. We could find the answer of this question in record 43 from the case, which is the procedural order number 1. For 43, if you see number 3, the first point stated that Equatoriana, Mediterranean, and Nubia are contracting state for the CISG. This is the CISG as well. And the third point stated that all three countries are contracting. No, on the fourth point, stated that all three countries are contracting parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. 5, because I'm not very well in the procedural side. That's what happened. Stated that all three countries are member states of the New York Convention, and their national arbitration law is verbatim adaptation to the industrial model law. That's it. All three countries are contracting the state of the CISG, New York Convention, and model law. Moving to the next question. Let's have some water. Okay, move to the next question, which is stated that why the aircraft should be registered. Okay, to make it simple, aircraft have some dangerous. Why? The reason why is because it's travel from one place to another, travel and cross the borders of the countries. It could have take a knowledge, take picture, take video, and give it to the government of its country or whatever. As well, regarding the crime, the criminal which occurred in the aircraft itself while it traveled from one country to another. As well, regarding the civil matters which occurred in the aircraft from when it traveled from one place to another and across the border of the countries. Like if someone born on the aircraft, what the nationality this baby should have? It's the nationality of the aircraft host or whatever. What? This is why the countries go to the site that the aircraft should be registered to have to govern these disputes and as well to have the safe. Those now in the current date here, if there is an aircraft which travel and cross the border and it's not registered, it should be considered as a foreign aircraft and the country have the right to destroy it. That's why the aircraft should be registered. Moving to the next question, which is stated, who is the claimant? Okay, we could find this question, the answer of this question in the court from the case. It stated that claimants of arbitration stated that in first paragraph, claimant, the Drone I PLC, is a medium-sized producer of unmanned aerial system (UAS) based in Mediterranean. Each system, which in everyday language usually referred to as drones, are primarily used to geoscience exploration. Claimant has an annual output of around 5 drones per year. Thus, it's a company for produce drones which is based on in Mediterranean. Over to the next question. Stated that was respondent. Okay. The respondent, you could find the answer of this question in paragraph 2, the same page. Stated that respondent Equatoriana Geoscience Ltd is a private company entirely owned by the Minister of Natural Resources and Development of Equatoriana. And it was set up in 2016 when the socialist government announced its Northern Part Development Program. Thus, it's a company set up in 2016 from the Government of Natural Resources of Equatoriana for the reason of what? For the reason of exploration and surveillance the earth of the north part of Equatoriana. Moving to the next question. The next question stated that why the respondent opened a call for tender. Okay, that's the question. Is related to the past question, which is the Equatoriana country intended to develop the north part of the country, And in order to that, it entitled the respondent to conclude any contract which is necessary to do that. And the respondent itself, in order to exploration the north part of Equatoriana, it should need to have a drones for exploration, and then in order to see what is the good offer or what is the potential and the favorable offer or the favorable company which the respondent have or could contracting with it, the respondent open the call of the tender here. This is the answer of this question, and moving to the next question, which stated that what is the factual background of concluding the parties' contract? Okay, the factual background, at first, like what I stated in the past question, that the respondent opened the call of the tender, and the call of the tender, you could find it in record 12, in record 11, from the case, 9, in record 9, stated call of the tender, and after that, the client was one of the company which provided its offer, and then there was a competition or like what I said, there are two companies, which is the client was one, and the other one which is as well for production of the drones. But then the respondent intended to conclude the contract with the claimants, not with another party, which is another company, which is from Equatoriana itself. That's what's happened. Moving to the next question. The contract was concluded on 3rd December 2020. That's it. Okay, that's two paper. Let's answer this. When was the contract signed and by whom? Okay, you could find this question in record 12 from the case. If you see the date, in the end of the page, the date was 1st December 2020, which means the contract was signed on 1st December 2020. As well, it's signed by seller, presented by William Creeper, the CEO of Claimants Company, and the buyer, Wilmina Queen, the CEO of Respondent Company, as well, the Minister of Natural Resources of Equatoriana, which is Mr. Rodrigo Barbusa, the appointment of Mr. Rodrigo Barbusa. Why? Because the policy of Equatoriana was that the minister should sign the contract which occurred for the public work. Okay. Complete with the next question. Stated that determine first the law applicable to the contract, and second the procedural law. Regarding the law applicable to the contract, it's the law of Equatoriana. But the Equatoriana have two laws. The first one, since the Equatoriana is contracting state for the CISG, thus we could state that the CISG is the law of the contract as well. It has its national law, which is the ICCA, which is the usual principle in current case. Thus there are two laws could govern the contract, which is the CISG and the ICCA. While the procedural law here is simple. There is a claimant's position and the respondent's position. Regarding the claimant position, that since there is no applicable law chosen in Article 20 from the contract. Those the law of the seat is the law should apply on and govern the procedural law, which is the law of the nuclear. Well, from the respondent side, that since there is no chosen law of procedural applicable law for procedural, thus the law of the contract is the law should apply, which means that the law of Equatoriana should apply. That's it. Moving to the next question. Stated that when was the dispute arise and for what reason? Okay, the dispute arise at first. Let me guide you to record 20 from the case claimant exhibit A. This is the case. This is the email from the respondent when terminated the parties contract. And if you see, the dispute was arised on that date, 13th May 2022. For what? Because the respondent alleged that the claimant constituted a misrepresentation by not tell the respondent that there is a newest model, which is the Kestrel I 2020, which is the Hawk I 2020, sorry. This is why the respondent terminated the parties contract, and for that reason, the claimant stated that the respondent had unjustified termination of the parties contract, and then the claimant, after the negotiation were filed, when the respondent, the claimant raised this arbitration proceedings and start this arbitration proceedings and go to the arbitral tribunal. That's it. Moving to the next question, which is stated that if there is any difference between drones and aircraft, answer according to the international laws and industry usages. That is the difference between aircraft and the drones. Let me see. Let's move and go above the shape or the type or whatever. Let's talk about the purpose of them. The purpose of the aircraft is for carrying a human and cargo, while the purpose of the drones is not for carrying a human or cargo. Maybe there is a specific type of the drones is for carrying cargo. That's it. There is no one could state that's wrong. But the Kestrel I in the current case does not have this ability. Thus, go back to the question: what is the difference between drones and aircraft? The aircraft big, like this, and the purpose of it is carrying human and cargo as well. The army aircraft, while the drones is for funny or whatever. Because there is a huge difference between aircraft and drones. That's under the international usages. Complete with the next question. Stated that why the respondent stated that the CISG could not govern the parties' agreement. Okay. The respondent stated that the CISG could not govern the parties' agreement since the respondent believed that the goods in current case it's aircraft. It's yes, the name of it is drones, but these drones have the characteristic of aircraft and they should be considered as aircraft. Thus, the respondent stated that the goods in current case it's aircraft. Thus, since the CISG excluded the matters of aircraft under Article 2, Paragraph A from the CISG, then the CISG could not apply. This is the allegation of the respondent. Complete with the next question. What are the consequences if the CISG apply? What is the consequences if the CISG apply? Okay. If the CISG apply here, the respondent could not stated or could not avoid the contract relying on Article 3.2.5 from the ICCA. That's it. The respondent, whether the respondent want to apply the CISG, do not apply the CISG, is to termination the parties contract. Thus, if the CISG apply, then the termination of the respondent is invalidly unjustified. That's it. Move to the next question. Next question stated that what are the consequences if the CISG does not apply? Okay, if the CISG does not apply, then completing the past question that if the CISG apply, then if the CISG does not apply, then the respondent could go and terminate the party's contract according to its domestic law. Thus, if the CISG does not apply, then the respondent termination of the party's contract is validly. That's it. The next question. Answer according to the provisions of the CISG. What is the solutions in case the CISG not govern such matters or subject? Okay, the CISG answered this question according to the provision provided in Article 7.2 from the Convention itself. It stated that if there is a matter which the CISG does not govern it or does not deal with it, whether expressly or implied or whatever, there are two types of solution. The first one, we could go to the general principles of the CISG, including the commentary, the cases law, the character commentary, whatever. This is the general principles of the CISG. As well, the second solution, which we could go to the domestic law of the CISG, or of the part of the or of the contract law. That's it. And that's what the respondent depended on, that the CISG does not have a provision regarding the misrepresentation. And then we could go to the domestic law to settle it, since the domestic law here have the provision regarding the misrepresentation. And that's it. Next question. What is the goods in the parties agreement? Okay. Regarding the goods in the parties agreement or the contract, is 6 from the Kestrel I-2010 air vehicle model. That's it. Which from the claimant side it's drones, but from the respondent side it's aircraft. To be honest, I am here alone in the fourth stage, and there is no anyone here. It's only me. And it's dark, and I hear some noisy outside. I close the door with the key, but whatever, let's complete and then go and see whatever. Okay, next question. What's commercial contract mean? Commercial contract mean is the contract which concluded between two parties which they are commercial, or the contract which concluded of the sale of the goods. This is the commercial contract. Yes, what is the administrative contract? The administrative contract is the contract which concluded between two parties which they are administrative, or between one party which is commercial and the second party which is administrative. And the elements of it is party representing government, and the second one which should have a sufficient clause, and the third one which should have for public work. This is administrative contract. Next question. Is the contract in current case commercial one or administrative one? Okay. Regarding the answer to this question, if the contract is commercial or administrative, we could state that there are two sides. From the claimants that it is a commercial contract, and then the CISG could apply. And the reason of that the claimant stated that the respondent, even if the respondent is SOE, but it is still in current case not representing the government. It here act as commercial company, while the respondent stated that it is a government contract, since the respondent here is government representing the quaternary country, as well as for public work here. That's it. There are two sides here. The last question regarding the discussion of today, it is, what are the consequences if the current contract consider administrative one? Okay, regarding the administrative contract. The provision of administrative contract means that the domestic law of the country should apply. Thus, if the current case contract is considered as administrative contract, first the CIG could not apply, and then issue C would be move on, and then the respondent could apply the ICCA to avoid the parties contract. As well, the constitutional law of Equatorial could apply, and then the approvement or the consent of the parliament should be provided, and then the arbitration agreement is not valid. That's it. And this is, I see that I go run my time by 1 minute. So this is the discussion for today. I answer regarding, I believe it is a half, and there is a half here. I answer this, and this is for the next episode of our discussion. Those wait and don't be hesitate if there is any question, or if I see something which is wrong, write it in the comment, and I will read it and answer a question. And have a good night. Thank you very much, and goodbye.